Good evening, everybody. Tonight I can finally tell you guys what I think about the first two episodes of X-Men 97. However, this video is going to just be my review of episode 1. Everybody, personally, if you ask me, to me, my X-Men, which is the title of X-Men 97 episode 1, is how you not only reintroduce familiar characters as the X-Men so are, but this is how you improve on what already existed. Because, guys, outside of a couple nitpick things here and there, this debut episode and the one that comes after it, or rather this episode, I should say, was absolutely nearly perfection. Now I'll just come out and say this right now. Basically, guys, this is like a soft updated version of Night of the Sentinels Part 1, but instead it's called To Me My X-Men, and the reason why I say that it's a soft recreation of episode 1 of the original X-Men series from 92 to 97 is because it's virtually exactly the same premise, except that thanks to the passing of Professor Xavier, back a 40 years / 6 months ago now, mutants are still widely more accepted, but you still have people like Gyrich and Dr. Trask leading the efforts of Friends of Humanity. And what the Friends of Humanity's basically agents have done this time around, instead of re-kidnapping Jubilee's place and getting captured is filled by this this millionaire and single teenager / younger adult, Roberto, aka Sunspot, whose main power basically is he's actually consisted of just plain solar energy. Think of the silver server, but I guess think of it more contained. And basically, guys, the Friends of Humanity have basically kidnapped Sunspot to basically get the X-Men to come out of hiding. And basically, guys, just as Sunspot is about to bribe the Friends of Humanity to sort of set him free, that's when Bishop, Cyclops, and the rest of the team basically get notified that hey, he needs help. Now, before all this takes place, guys, well, actually, first, everybody rescue Sunspot, that's there, and then as Sunspot is waking up, we basically have the reintroduction of the team's dynamic with Scott and Jean basically realizing that that they do have a baby on the way in the form of Cable, aka also known as Nathan Charles Summers, also known as Cable later on, coming along, and that potentially it it may finally be a good idea to leave the team, just because of how even though thanks to all of Charles's good work, humanity has made progress with understanding mankind, but people are still reeling from the passing of Professor Xavier, and it's clear in this episode, guys, you can see the that the absence of their fearless leader has sort of left the team in shambles, or basically that solid foundation that clearly always was Professor Xavier is no longer there, because Scott is basically having a hard time dealing with the fact that he and Jean, as the sole remaining original members of the X-Men, and the first two students of Professor Xavier, the burden is now on them to make sure that not only that the world continues to understand mankind, but that the X-Men as a team and a family stay together. And it's they're losing a game of basketball that everybody gets hot, and it's kind of up to Jean to defuse the situation. And then after Sunspot wakes up, and he's basically introduced to Beast, Gambit, and Wolverine in the Danger Room. After seeing a Danger Room projection of Magneto, Sunspot is initially freaked out, but Jubilee does do a good job in making sure he understands, much like the team has done for her once before, in understanding that the Xavier Institution is a place where mutants and all kind can be safe. But Sunspot sinks off to this club / bar, and before the team goes to find him, Scott basically yells at Gambit for basically worrying about cooking gumbo. Then instead of helping the team on a mission, and Logan and Scott basically have one of their famous you think you're so hot, come at me and we'll see who's the real better mutant and the better man, and most of all the guy that should be the one that's with Jean and put a baby in her right now. But of course, as she always does, Jean's able to say to Scott and Wolverine, "Hey guys, that's enough." And then Wolverine says something that's classic Logan, but it's also very powerful. He says to Cyclops, "The worst thing about Charles being gone is now I absolutely have to listen to you and I don't particularly care for that. Because I think you're still kind of a teacher's pet, good for nothing, smart ass kind of a guy. And then more basically changes into Charles, and then this is where one of my minor nitpicks for the episode comes in. I do not like Professor Xavier's new voice, because let's not forget, everybody, Morph's ability to obviously change into any person he wants also means that he obviously copies their voice. And while it's not a bad version of Professor Xavier, I would have much rather preferred it if they would have got somebody like Clancy Brown, or maybe even Patrick Stewart to come in and voice the little cameos of Charles that we will get every now and again. And then once the team finds some spot at the club, of course, Gambit does a classic hitting on Rogue, and this is something I want to address, that World of Geekdom, aka Danny Rodriguez from Geekdom 101, got wrong in his review of the first 2 episodes last night, in saying that Rogue's voice actor is not original. Hey Danny, Geekdom 101, you are wrong. Rogue does still have her original voice actress. So you're a little wrong on that, guys. And I guess another thing that you couldn't nitpick about the episode, when everybody does just have a strict dialogue section where there's no action and they're standing there talking, the rest of them kind of become stiff, and just their mouths move. And then Morph also basically demonstrates for the audience that Cyclops and Jean are thinking about leaving the team because of being pregnant with Nathan, and because of the prejudice that still exists out there for mutant kind, and that they don't want their child to have to grow up in a world where or in that type of such a stressful environment, where that basically that they had to grow up in without the guidance of somebody like Professor Xavier. And then they visit Gyrick, and then Cyclops visits Gyrick in prison to basically learn the rope, try and persuade him to tell the team where Dr. Trask has been hiding out, because let's not forget, everybody, Dr. Trask and the guy I just said, Gyrick, were the 2 individuals behind the original Master Mold project, and Cyclops even offers to try and get Gyrick's sentence reduced from 25 years down to 10. And then when Gyrick says, hey, I'm not gonna talk, because A, I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction, and B, if I were to, try and stop the efforts of our new project or the Friends of Humanity, the world would just become full of even more of your kind, that kind being mutants, and all of us normal, average, everyday people would potentially become the minority, and maybe even one day ultimately even extinguished. And then Gyrick even also says, besides, you're no Charles Xavier. You can't persuade me like he could. And then Jean tries to Jean does contact telepathically invade Gyrick's mind through Cerebro, but just as she's invading his mind, she has a vision of basically what Gyrick and Trask have in store with this newly recreated version of Master Mold and the Sentinels, and the psychic stress forces her out of his mind. So then, guys, after Sunspot is recaptured, everybody basically heads to Dr. Trosk's location, and that's where they have their rematch with the Sentinels, who they are very easily able to destroy this time around without sacrificing the Blackbird jet. And so, guys, Trask is taken into custody. Sunspot is rescued, but decides to basically not join the team at this time. And then at the end of the episode, Scott and Jean do formally announce to the team their plans to leave the X-Men. And then, of course, if you've seen the spoilers, you know that the episode ends with Magneto declaring that because him and Charles were still once friends, according to Charles's last will and testament, Magneto is now actually the one who has inherited the mansion, and with that, the new defective leader of the X-Men. And yeah, guys, this was just a really good episode. And believe me, if you have seen episode 2 already, you know what happens, and you know things are about to get pretty damn good. But have a good one for now, everybody.